This is the 7th episode of a series documenting my attempt to do a charity ride across America, visiting different locations used in the Fallout setting. I am stuck in the middle of Ohio and must fight tooth and nail to escape the state. Ahead of me lies a journey through Appalachia to reach Pittsburgh, where I will be on the final stretch of trails that will take me to the capital Wasteland.
Yeah, just get over it. It's fine. What about it? I'll figure it out. This is not my first rodeo in the big million-person car-centric hellscape. So I checked the map. We have to do a little bit of neighborhood riding. But it's theoretically possible if we cut through here to get back. So now all we have to do is ignore all the neighborhood watch signs. Common sense. I don't know, it doesn't look that bad. There was a homeless guy in that alley, but other than that, they were like, this waterfront is very cool. It's much nicer than Cincinnati's. That said, I have no clue what the trail through the city is. So I kind of just went down a random road through Columbus until I got to this creek on the east side, because it seems like this is where the OTET continues. I don't know. It seems a little too freeform for my taste. Alright, so this map has all the information. Note that I never saw anything like this when I was at the waterfront. This is the I-670 connector. With earbuds, it's pretty loud, so... These are some crazy seats. Oh no, a tree down. Oh. There was one that was sawed up early. Well. There was a sign that said, cyclists dismount. It's just absurd. You want me to dismount? With this long bridge? No, I don't think so. It'd make more sense if there were people out, but it's been overcast and threatening to rain all day, so there's not too many people hanging out outside recreationally, which is great. I missed the vibe of the Katy Trail when I was first there, not the second time. When I was first there, pretty much nobody else was using it. And that meant that I had it to myself, and it was kind of cool. It's kind of cool that I have this trail system to myself, and it's like, what am I gonna do? Sit around and wait for it to stop raining? That ain't happening anytime soon, so. Oh, ketamine I want. Damn, my GoPro turned on too slow. This road is closed, and there's a dump truck backing up down it. So I think it's real, in which case, you know, normally I tend to ignore these, but we're gonna have to wayfind. It wouldn't bother me so much if there was more transparency. That's something I never got about. I've never understood this about life, you know. It's weird how often things can kind of just happen. And like, unless you know somebody that's in the know, you'll never get like an answer for why it was the way it was. Like one time I heard this really loud explosion sound, and I don't know what happened. How do I find out? How do you find out about stuff like that? Well, there's our answer. I was right, they're resurfacing. Although, that sign says they're closed too, so this access point might not be, we might have to go farther than this. This is not the access point. I have accessed it. I had to walk the bike down some stairs, but, well, I gotta give them credit. They were at least conscious enough to close the trail at a point where you could get off it. If it wasn't so noisy, this is like the bridge area, it would be super cool. So this is gonna break down in the trail. So it's a painted bike gutter all the way up to here. And this sign tells you to go down this street, which is better than usual. But how exactly you're actually meant to get through this, I'm not sure. Like, Left turns at intersections for bike people, always a nightmare. Without the sun being out, I'm actually enjoying the ride, which is ironic because I'm doing terrible in terms of average mile per hour. When I'm going, I'm not going particularly fast, and then I'm slow because I, stop occasionally. So my average is way lower than usual, probably because I did 170 miles in 2 days. Wait, no, 160, 90 plus 70. Oh, shit. Instructions. So, diagonal cross. Gotcha. I mean, this is not a legal crossing, of course. This is not Santa Monica, but nobody was in the intersection, so I went for it. I completely by coincidence noticed this. This turn is where the OTET separates from US Bike Route 50. Now, why is that significant? US Bike Route 50 goes east from here to Pittsburgh. But I was reading about it and I didn't hear great things about it. So while this would be an option, I think I should stick with the OTET. Kind of in a bad situation, so there's not places to stop for a long time, not even campgrounds. We can go 2 miles back and stop for the day at 29, which would really be 25 miles of progress for the day. Very short day. Or we can go 35 miles and pay a lot of money to stay in a tourist trap town. This is what I don't get about the OTET. So it's this really developed trail, but there's nowhere to stop on it. It's actually kind of surprising. All right, so we're stopped in the cheapest place I can find. I only paid for 1 night. So my thought is, even if it's gonna rain, we're just gonna power through it. Because the guy at the front desk said that it's gonna be 6 days of rain, which I don't think is really true. I think it's gonna be 2 days of rain and then 4 days of on-off rain. It's just kind of a shame. Today was an awesome day to ride, but I was having a hard time with it. So this is gonna be a half day off. I was promised a week of endless rain. I mean, some real Noah's Ark shit. And instead, I get this nice, bright, sunny day. It's a nice, sunny day. It just has to be sunny, It was so nice yesterday when it was overcast and the sun wasn't out and it wasn't 1,000,000,000 degrees on the day that it's supposed to be 100% chance of rain. 20% as of this moment. 20% on the forecast as of this moment. There are 4 clouds in the fucking sky. I'm sure later it's gonna sneak up on me. I'm sure clouds will appear from everywhere and rain down upon me. And I'll be in the middle of nowhere when that happens, right? But when I'm in here in town, where I can hide from it, oh no, it's gonna be a beautiful sunny day now. But just you wait till you get out to the countryside. I'm sure it'll be everywhere. Wait. I gotta stop bitching. Took a bit of effort. It was rather busy on the trail. There was some type of event going on, plus the morning joggers. But now we've made it to a quieter and close part of the trail. I'm not feeling terribly confident about the fact that this section keeps throwing us on the road. This is the second time that part of the trail was just straight up the road. Right here. Another section of the trail that is just a street in a town. No. No clouds manifesting. Wait. So this is the high point of the trail at 1,280 feet, or at least by my GPS's measure. Does that mean it's all downhill? Nah, it's gonna be slightly downhill and then we're gonna go off the road and have to go uphill. All right, we've made it to Mount Vernon, but not the real one, the fake one. So I guess it's time for lunch. Already getting a little post-apocalyptic here in central Ohio. There are the ruins of empires everywhere if you just look. I really hope it doesn't rain tonight because camping is like one of the only realistic options today. We're going to the middle of nowhere. And by middle of nowhere, I mean expensive B&B country. My headphones died, so hopefully there's no annoying highway noise I gotta listen to. So, the laptop died, I think in Cincinnati. No, Nashville, Indiana. The laptop died. Stone Bridge, and the building next to it's very cool. So we're in Mennonite country, as you can tell because the local dollar stores have hitching posts for horse-drawn carriages. This road not only allows horses on it, it actually allows those carriages on it too. Saw some Mennonites in the dollar store. A father and two daughters. Neither of the daughters wearing shoes, of course. As much as I complain about this trail being broken up into segments and nonsense with navigating, being sent through towns or what have you, I think that this trail illustrates that other places could absolutely do a lot more. Because if you can have hundreds of miles of trail through the woods, running like a road system that is able to shepherd people across this state with minimal interaction with car traffic, I don't see a reason why you couldn't do this in other places. I mean, genuinely. It's just absurd that we accept that, you know, these excuses that it's just not possible or nobody would be interested in it. I would never think of Ohio as being a place where people would be like super interested in this type of bike infrastructure, but I've seen so many people out using it today, and I saw a lot of people using the Katy Trail too when I came back, that it doesn't make sense to me. This is the Bridge of Dreams, huh? Surely it's not that special. Starts with a giant hash pothole. The elevation changes are starting to become very pronounced though. Oh, it goes over a river. The trail is on like a ridge line. And surrounding that ridge line are these low points. This is what I associate with Appalachia. Looking to the right and seeing a big wall of dirt. So I just saw roadkill on this trail. The only way that's possible is from a horse-drawn buggy. It was a dead possum. You might be thinking, well, possums play dead, but he was covered in flies, so I don't think he was playing dead. Sometimes it really is a dead possum. You would never expect to see roadkill on a bike trail like this. Been a real long time since we got to see a feature like this. Holy. I just realized I'm very dumb, or I've been dumb for some time. There's places to stop everywhere, right? And rivers everywhere and stuff. So why, in God's name, am I carrying 6 pounds of water on my front end? Water that I don't drink. Yeah, like both of these have 1.5 liters each that I've been carrying for weeks at this point without drinking. Either this will be the big mistake moment, which I recorded for content, or what it will do is if I manage to get away without anybody seeing, is it'll make somebody question what happened. Looks like It looks like a 5-gallon water balloon blew up there. Yeah, okay. It turns out taking 6 pounds off of the front end helps with climbing. I should have done that way sooner. And what's bad is, like, the thought has occurred to me a couple of times and then I'd get distracted, right? Or I'd think, who knows, maybe I'll need it. But no. Your boy, listen, I've never said I was smart. Other people my entire life have said I was smart. Okay? And I didn't believe them. Because I've got all sorts of bad decisions and lapses in judgment to justify why I don't believe people who say I'm smart. But then other people think, well, you act like, or you say you're so smart. And I'm like, I have never in my life, like, bragged about how intelligent I am. So I'm climbing, and I've been climbing for like 3 miles. And it's one of those climbs that the Garmin doesn't register. And I was thinking, well, the high point was like what? 1180 feet, right? Maybe 1280. So at most, like, you know, there's no way this hill is gonna be 160 feet more of climbing. I'm not gonna be surprised if this thing goes to like 1 foot under the previous peak, just because I have been climbing forever and it doesn't seem like it's gonna stop. And it's just enough of a climb to be annoying, but not enough to be a challenge, right? But what do the optimists say? They say what goes up must come down, right? But me, oh, I know I've got a mountain range to get through. So I wouldn't be surprised if what goes up goes flat after, or then goes up more. I'm probably gonna be like wading into the Atlantic Ocean and still finding a hill to climb. This ordinarily wouldn't be a big hill, but considering it's at the top of what has been a miles-long climb, that's devastating. But even more, nature's overtaken this poor little play place. After thoroughly photographing someone's property, finally getting back to climbing up this hill, and I'm sure it's a killer downhill though. I'm just imagining, like, the horse buggies are climbing this too, right? Those poor horses. All right, so there was no ceremony, it just started the downhill. Well, I'm gonna enjoy it. I kind of wish it warned me though. I'd have put my helmet on. They're real. Well, there's another one of those things. So there was another bike packer that said that segment's down because some of the bridges are out. Definitely very hilly. So it looks like it's not that that section is out. It might be that that section is being constructed. Like, this is just the old connection, because there's signs that point this way. Big if true. I knew sooner or later I had to see pigs. I've seen most farm animals. It's nice open land, hemmed in by hills and trees. Share the road signs. Listen, it's cheaper to print a share the road sign than it is to pave a little extra space. Thank God I'm not doing this on Sunday. I might have actually turned this into a nightmare. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm riding roads tomorrow on Sunday. Shit. I think it's Saturday. This isn't even the section that's missing on the map. Like, there's parts of it that are missing, like straight up missing on the map later on. But people online for years have been talking like the OTET is this complete thing, so that's what's throwing me off. It is good to be off the trail for a little bit. You know, don't miss the forest for the trees, because it's giving me a broader view of this area. And I mean, like, it's very nice. I might not have seen it as clearly if I was on the trail all day. Yeah, there's like bike tread there. If not as many have ridden that. Okay, let's see, maybe. Maybe. You know, I'm thinking, let's check it out. Why not? Well, we came to an end. There were a few parts where it seems like they ran out of asphalt before they could finish the section, and then they didn't like start it up as cleanly because it like dried or whatever. So it produced like a little divot, which again, you know, it's a work in progress, but it was rideable for the most part. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, this place kind of has aura. It's pretty cool. They show up in the weirdest places. I swear to God, I thought he was driving off the trail. All right, 76 miles for the day. We have made it. This is where we depart from the OTET, start heading east towards Pittsburgh. I traded my Reese's for a banana. Well, I sure hope this doesn't become a recurring trend. My nice valley road has shunted me into climbing a ridge. This random country road is pretty cool. As long as traffic is sparse, I ain't got no complaints. What the fuck? I guess that's what the Garmin was referring to there. It's been a while since I've seen a hill like this. Might have to take a break halfway up. It disappeared, so let me start pushing and see if I can get it back up again. 16%. 16% grade. This is like, this might be one of the steepest hills of the entire trip. I'm not joking. Besides that hill in like Beverly Hills. This is the top of that hill. I was in that valley. You see in the division in the trees over around there? That was the valley I was in and climbed out of to get on top of this hill. And it's just like a mundane hill. But it's like a 16% grade. My entire body is coated in sweat now. And my heart is racing. This is the downhill I've earned. I gotta gun it all the way down so I can keep that momentum. Treat it like a roller coaster. It's tough though. It's tough for sure. Okay, so this is kind of weird. There's a bunch of bikes all kind of just left, sitting around. Of course, there's a bunch of buggies. So I'm guessing there must be some type of communal thing going on, and that this isn't like a place to trap sight and kill cyclists. Because you got to look at it from my perspective, okay? I'm riding a bike through the countryside, and then I suddenly see tons of abandoned bikes everywhere. I'm gonna think something weird's going on. Then I saw the buggies and I was like, oh, it must be something else. It's an odd corner of the world. Oftentimes I've heard the excuse that like rural areas can't be cycling oriented. It's just impossible because the area is too big, or you know, the geography is too challenging, or the weather or what have you, but they're doing it out here. So they're doing it out here in like suits and full length dresses and stuff. So really there's no excuse. The rest area is at a church. Oh ho ho, you guys are sneaky. Looks like we're gonna have our first traffic encounter with the buggy. It's going a little slower than I thought it would. All right, we are cruising through the country. The next town is hooked up on the OTET towpath, so maybe we can take that for a bit, but I've got no clue. I don't think the deer can understand the sign. So we made it out of Mennonite country and into just kind of rural eastern Ohio. So yeah, I'm not sure. There's no real like good way through this part of the world. So this is supposed to be a bike route. So I'm putting my faith in whoever put this together. Well, this route's all right. That route I took just brought me back to the town that I was basically already in. It's two different towns. I left one, went up a big hill, and came back up the other. So kind of a waste of time. So I'm in this town, Ulrichsville, trying to make the decision if I want to go like 30 or 40 more miles and or stay here. And this little outcrop of it is completely segregated from the main part of the town. And what I mean is, if from where I'm standing I ask for a route to get to the town, it sends me back the way I came, and it's through this labyrinthine process all the way around all of this shit, because there's a not interstate here and it doesn't want to route me on the not interstate. But given it's a not interstate, I'm allowed to go on the not interstate, which is what I'm gonna do. This is brutal. There's a path of desire here. So like clearly people want to access that part of the town, and they just can't. At least they can't easily. Path of desire, and then the sidewalk of hope, the classic sidewalk of hope on every bridge. One of those is a real term. So due to poor reviews, I'll be moving on. Doing it's 30 miles, so 70 mile day, whatever. But there's a Rite Aid here, and it's closing. Not as exciting as Kmart closings, but I thought Rite Aid was dead, so. This sidewalk is considered a trail. There's signage for it. Wait. Also, it's very slightly raining. I don't think the GoPro can even pick it up, but you can see there's raindrops in the river. So I went back and checked the sign I passed because it said there's a trail here. It's not marked on the map. Google thinks it's closed. So let's see what's going on. It's called the Panhandle Trail. I think it's pretty short though. This shoulder's not too bad. This is Ohio 250, I think. As long as it doesn't tighten up at some county line, it's going good so far. One thing I've noticed out here is that bikers and like motorcyclists, they ride nicer bikes, more expensive bikes. They tend to be ruder. They tend to rev their engines when they're stopped more, and they don't acknowledge me. Out west, you usually got like a hand sign or a nod or something, but out here, they take like a confrontational tone, like attitude with me. Like I've been harassed at stops by bikers out here. Just an interesting difference. So there was a T intersection a ways back, and no, this is not a whoops, I went the wrong way story. But there was a T intersection on the way back that went north to a town called Bowerston, and in Bowerston there's a trail, like a rail trail, a section of the towpath that they're working on that extends a small ways. It's a detour because I'd have to come back down to make up the distance to go to where I'm going to the hotel. Instead, we got this lake. This lake system's enormous, and I guess people must not be allowed to boat here, hence why these algae ponds. What are these? Lily pads? You can see there are birds kind of out there doing their thing on both sides. And another thing is, so this power line runs on the left side, and sometimes you'll see the lures and the casting lines because people shoot it over and then just wrap it around that line by accident. And so you'll just see like the abandoned lost hope, or maybe people do it on purpose, but yeah. And then it's just like, it's everywhere. we shall be as a city on a hill is not a guideline. It's the funny sex number, haha. Been a while since we've had elevation days like that. This is one kinky room, we'll say that. "25 miles of this, of not interstate, and then we're out of Ohio. It's the most direct route that has a shoulder, so. Your Honor, hand on my chest, this is the first time they're telling me. What? Why? It's the same. It's the same. It's been fine. It's been fine. Why is it different now? It's different because I just crossed the county line. What do you mean? What? So I got to give up these awesome, nice rolling hills that are pretty safe, I'm going to be honest. So I can go right on that country road. Or I just ignore the sign. I've got 17 more miles to go on this road. All right, guess I gotta go against oncoming traffic to get out of this situation because they put this sign like 100 feet past the entrance to the highway. Fun side note, that is indeed a tiny little bike path for like half a mile. I don't know what it connects to. I don't know why it exists. It's on US Bike Route 50, which this road also is, but I'm gonna guess what happened is US Bike Route 50 sucks so much fucking fat cock that people were just like popping off it first chance they could get onto this road, and they had to literally like stop people from doing that by putting that prohibition up so people would ride the bike route. They're not real mountains though, guys. They're not real. Last couple miles of Ohio going out with bang. Well, we made it to Steubenville. Jesus Christ. Ohio trying to go out with a bang. This is US Bike Route 50, by the way, just FYI. I encountered another guy coming the other way doing this, so. This is like the choke point of this entire region is this street. All the cyclists here have to go down this road. Park closed, no trespassing. Yep, sounds about right. Kind of just a deeply embarrassing way for Ohio to go out, to be honest. I'm definitely starting to understand some of the geographic limitations of this area. I'll say that. This is that great bridge closure I've been hearing about. What's wrong with it? Well, you know how it is. It's closed. They're not necessarily going to give you the reason why. Probably failed some type of inspection or something. Yo, is that a Fallout reference? So I tried to use a couple of rideshare apps and they failed, and then I finally just contacted a local taxi service and they immediately picked up, were nice, and had worked it out in a couple minutes. Apparently they've been transporting people across this river with bikes all day, so. Well, I got a ride over here, and for the killer price of free, I made sure to ask about it, if it's subsidized or what. Apparently it's just all volunteers that handle shuttling people over here from Steubenville, which is
pretty incredible. I was looking at like 25 bucks if it had, one of the rideshare services had taken me up. So yeah, so I cut out a ramble where I explained why I needed a ride, but this is the only bridge in this town that pedestrians can legally cross, and it had been closed for a year and a half. The only other bridge in the town was the 22, which was so dangerous they had to outright forbid cyclists from using it. I'm not exaggerating when I say that this bridge closure is a massive choke point in coast-to-coast crossings. Apparently the town gives free rides, but you have to schedule it days in advance, something I did not know until I arrived.
Yeah, this is West Virginia.
Sadly, we didn't get to record the crossing of the state line, but I think we'll get to record going into Pennsylvania. Now, of course, since we always get screwed leaving states, I'm very curious what bad thing is going to happen in the next 4 miles. So, this is the Panhandle Trail. It's in West Virginia's Panhandle, which is kind of a small little area of the state between the border of Pennsylvania, which is square in the southwest corner, and the Ohio River, which is the southeastern border of Ohio. There's a little strip of West Virginia here. I'm starting to have cassette issues again. I think this cassette is struggling. Hopefully it should be able to make the rest of the trip if it can last another couple hundred miles. Another few hundred miles really. But yeah, we gotta make up lost time and try to sadly get West Virginia over with as fast as possible. It's weird being in the state again. Very cool. Obviously very nice. Look, as inconvenient as exiting Ohio was, the fact that they offer free and non-subsidized rides just from like volunteers and stuff is mighty kind. The short time that I've been off, that's those cassette troubles I'm having difficulty with. It seems to struggle to get me into the lowest gear. I'm really gonna have to remember that. I think the shifter, I think it's like, it's trying to shift it off the lowest ring, and that's what's causing it to do that. So maybe it can just be adjusted. I'll go in, ask if they can adjust it, and if they try to replace my cassette, then I'll say no. This cassette has to make it to the end. Okay, it doesn't have to make it, because challenges like that tend to cause them to explode, but all the same. We passed it back there. There was a sign saying we entered Washington County. And I thought about recording it, but didn't. That's the line. We made it to Pennsylvania. So what bad thing happened on the way out of West Virginia? I guess maybe it's just the slow deterioration of the cassette is what we can contribute. I don't know, maybe West Virginia is just one of those states where getting in was harder than getting out. And that was the inconvenience. I mean, it really was the case. We were there for less than half an hour. I think I was close to the mark. I think it really was like 4 miles of trail. So after a few miles, the trail surface has become really smooth. It started out a little rocky, and I've noticed this about West Virginia. The states that kind of surround West Virginia all get really lazy with their road maintenance leading into the West Virginia part, but it's all on their side of the border. I think they're trying to gaslight people into thinking that like it's West Virginia's fault. Very cool little valley area we're progressing through. Not the best sign, really.
Well, back to Katy Trail-esque vibes. I didn't take too much because it's I don't need too much to finish this out, but it's cold. All right, now let's see if he gets any fucking messages about that. This is a little interesting though, the clearing and stuff. I don't know why it is the way it is. I assume it's some type of man interference. This place has centuries of history, and in the centuries of history it has, the people that lived here didn't always have a respect for the natural world. It'd be cool to crest this and see like a big city laying before me, but sadly I think we left that behind in the desert. Bruh. So the Panhandle Trail ended, and it literally ended into like one of the worst fucking, like, how is this a bikeway? Pittsburgh's not too hard to get through. Just ignore the layers of sweat upon me. Well, we're getting there. This is a suboptimal development, to say the least. Well, I survived the first 2 flights of stairs, and it turns out there's this hidden little underground area that goes over there. Oh. God. I feel like I'm being fought every step of the way. The city of bridges. The city of so many bridges. I was a bit confused why it was saying that bikes could turn left on this road. It's because the road's one way, the bikeway's 2 way. I'm kind of just looking at random buildings like, oh, is that it? Is that the building? Good morning. So it's a ways away to the my bike helmet fell off my bike. It's a ways away to the University of Pittsburgh. Asher's building is. I didn't think that.
Yeah, man. Shit gonna roll off like that.
That's what I was thinking.
I know, man. Hey, my dad's from California. Nate down here, he's from California too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a celebrity to everyone who asks. California likes this place. Conversation starter. It only started happening though in like Indiana, which is interesting because, you know, it's still a fair ways to get from, say, California to, let's try not to die here. It's a fair ways to get from California to, say, Kansas. But people only really started caring once they got into Ohio. I'm not going to the building just because of how involved it is going anywhere in this town. But it's that way. Now, I believe the bridge we need to cross is down there. But getting there is going to be its own challenge. That glass building with the spires can be seen in the skyline of the Pitt. I mean, several of these buildings can. Finally going the right way. The city is kind of maze-like. So, this is the 10th Street Bridge. It's the big bridge that you cross to get to the Pitt. I'm not sure if we can cross it. what I thought were people up there, but it could be just those construction workers. It's not marked as a bike trail, so unfortunately I'm just gonna kind of bypass it. But yeah, you can see it's got the two raised parts. The one we're going under is the one with the sniper on it. I'm sure the real one is covered in potholes instead of landmines. So this is where we cross over from the Pittsburgh side over to the other side of the river. The sign said DC is 350 miles away, which is a little shorter than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be at least 400. There's the skyline. I think that's the building. It's like in the right spot. You can probably see why I didn't go over to it, because these hills are vicious. This trail, like all asphalt trails, is being rooted out. Roots grow under the asphalt, causes bumps to form. I need more suspension on trails like these than I did on the Katy Trail.
All the way from California?
Yes, sir.
Good for you.
Thank you. Going down to DC now.
Are you? That's where we're going. I think they're gonna use. So you were coming from California?
Yes, sir.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Where are you ending up?
DC.
Huh. Coast to coast. Well, you're almost there.
Yeah, about a week left. This is another one of those trails when people who made it can't do math. All right, we just hit 10 miles for the day. That's including the miles we did to get on the trail. Now, when we got on the trail, the milepost marker, morning. When we got on the trail, the milepost marker said that we were 350 miles from Washington, DC, which I doubted. We just passed another mile marker that said we are 324 miles from DC. Now again, we've only done 10 miles for the day, including the mileage to get to the trail. So, either my GPS is broken, and is incorrectly measuring this stuff out, or whoever put the milestones up doesn't know how far we are down the trail. This place has it all. What do you mean there's a fucking theme park right next to the trail? What? That's like shoe flying off the kids and hitting my head close. So there was a sign acknowledging the root bump issue, and then this section of trail was repaved to address that issue. I hope it was permanently addressed, but I feel like it's just gonna become a problem again sooner or later. Very nice. Crossing this river. I should probably look up the name of it. Very cool region though. Definitely a vibe. I don't know why this red hand sign was blinking at me though. This trail is weird because there was like one section that was just straight up a town, and then there's another section where it's actually nice smooth gravel next to the actual railroad, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of weird how few rail trails have this. I assume they want to reclaim the tracks or something, but yeah, I'm enjoying things so far as long as I don't get deposited into any more towns, because what happens in those situations is they just put you on a road and say, put a sign up that says share the road. So this isn't actually a complete end-to-end trail. That's what's kind of shocking to me, is maybe I'm just spoiled from the Katy Trail. The Katy Trail is like end-to-end its own thing. bridge. Big, massive, very tall bridge. So there's a lot of these campgrounds out here that seem to just be free or near free. Like, it's literally, and they have shelters. So they have a shelter that you can camp in if it's gonna be raining or something. And then of course there's paid campsites for if you want amenities. Like that place back there has non-potable water, which means you can't drink the water that comes out of the well. You gotta boil it. Well, I mean actually, don't take my word for it, look it up. But that's an actual option, you know? Many thanks to the trail crews, you can't necessarily always be there to bail us out. Going over that, you can see kind of wear on the bark where people have been cycling over it. And I can't complain too much, you know. I could be doing the Great Divide and hiking my bike up an actual cliff. The occasional branch or the occasional tree that you gotta step over is whatever. These aren't mountains. They're not mountains, I promise, guys. Those are some of the shelters I've been talking about seeing. All right, had food. We're not stopping here. There's a place we can stop in 30 miles and maybe sooner depending on what we find on the trail, but definitely in 30 miles. So on we go. Kind of a shame to pass up a place like this. It's free. There's a shelter. There's a grocery store next to it. There's restaurants. 274 to DC, 89 to Cumberland. But see, that 89 to Cumberland's what's got me thinking. I can either do the 90 miles today and have it easy tomorrow, or have it easy today and do the 90 miles tomorrow. This is a sky bridge. Like, I get you gotta keep grade, sometimes you gotta build some infrastructure, but damn, these railroad companies went crazy. West to east is like newest to oldest, and so like things becoming increasingly historical as you ride. It's kind of a cool experience. These cliffs are massive. They're also blocking the sun. So it's very cool in this shaded trail along the river. This is awesome. The scale of the fucking mountains on each side is very similar to various passes I went through. This is the occasional distraction here on the trail, seeing as this is still a very good place to run trains through. This bridge is crazy. Great commentary, I know. I'm tired. Well, let's get some information. We're going to be climbing up to 2,400 feet. But after Cumberland, it's more downhill, so. This is Ohio Pile, which is kind of a weird tourist trap state park hybrid. Unfortunately for them, as tempting as the lodging is, 12-ish more miles to go. I didn't think I'd see you guys up here. We're almost to the town. Almost to the town. Damn it. I forgot to record the camp being set up, so now there's no proof. Clearly I stayed in a hotel and then biked out here. No, we camped last night. It was alright. It's an Army Corps of Engineers camp though, which means you gotta sign over all of your docs for like a $16 campsite. And no, they don't take cash. But anyways, yeah, it's like a flood disaster zone, I think. Like there's a dam that way, and if that dam ever breaks, we'd all die. So I'm not sure what they were thinking with that, but it's a decent campsite. It has a shower. There's a hot shower. I took a shower last night at a campsite. It was a surprise. And fresh water. So I'm just trying to get put up so I can go get breakfast. I was checking this out of passive curiosity. Now, I don't think this is the only way to get up there, but up there is apparently where the trail continues, which I think is very odd. Yeah, okay, I see. Hang on, I'm gonna go back and hop on it then, because I want to go across this bridge, but I do not want to go up that thing. So a fellow back there just warned me that a section of the trail is closed off due to a landslide. It has been for a month, which might explain the lack of people coming my way. And he's pissed off about it because they don't seem to be doing anything about it, and apparently they've got it closed off for liability purposes, and apparently they'll try to press charges if you go through it. So we're gonna spy it out, see what's going on. I mean, I understand if you have a closure because of a landslide, but surely you can do better than letting it sit closed for a month during like the prime season when people are going to be out here riding this trail. Very nice. Eventually they had to give up with conforming with the river and shape the earth to their own needs. Usually it's a good sign you're making good upward progress if they start carving tunnels through mountains. What's alarming to me is I get to see any signage saying, hey, there's a section of trail closed up ahead. That shit should have been posted all the way back in Confluence. If I'm being completely honest. Oh, wow. Yeah, this tunnel's pretty impressive. Can't see a damn thing. I can't get my phone flashlight to work on account of sweat was stopping me from opening it. Let's see again. First of a couple tunnels. And if that wasn't good enough for you, here's another bridge. The river is much closer to us on this bridge. There have been miles and miles of climbing alongside the edge of the river. So glad they took that shortcut. Well, this is shaping up exactly how I thought it would. So this spot is supposedly under surveillance. So you got to pay $20 to bypass this 1.7 mile stretch of trail that's closed. And if you don't pay it, then they'll press charges. Which sounds like the trail organizer and the shuttle operator are working together to scam people who are in a desperate situation. Interesting how that works. Paid my blood money. I was talking to the guy about it, and another guy that's heading the same direction as me, and yeah, we were kind of figuring out what was fair and all that. He even asked if like $20 was a good price, which I didn't answer honestly. But yeah, apparently it's a major deal. It's probably gonna be closed for the season. It takes some work to get it surveyed and get excavate equipment down there and cleared up. But all the same. I can't escape them. They're always haunting me, creating wind. Supposedly from here, I'm not sure where to look, I think it's this way. You can see West Virginia, Maryland, and then we're in Pennsylvania. Great country. Awesome bridge too. Tunnel shot. We're at 2,100 feet. So in theory, there's 300 more feet of climbing to do. Someone turn these damn fans off. Yeah, so not only have I been climbing for 40 miles, I think I have a headwind. Not too heavy of a headwind, but considering I'm climbing for 40 miles, any measure of headwind is pretty bad. We're at 28 feet, which means there cannot be more than 72 feet left to climb. Fuck me, this wind. That picture of the Continental Divide has a windmill in it. The Eastern Continental Divide. 2,400 feet according to GPS. So, I was a little off. We went just above, but I've been told by more elder trail users that the downhill is a lot steeper than the uphill on the western side of the divide, so maybe it'll be smooth sailing from here on out. Oh, this is a big tunnel. It's actually really cold back here too. Wonder if how often the sun shines here. But this is the big Savage Tunnel. It's a pretty long one. Holy goddamn, it's long. It's cold in here. I mean, it's not surprising, but damn. I didn't know I needed to pack my jacket. It's taken a while to get through here. I took a picture on my phone to send to someone, and I had to go into the pro mode to keep it from auto brightening it, because obviously the aesthetic of the scene is that it's very dark in here. Well, it's not terribly dark. My eyes have adjusted. I can kind of see pretty well now, but obviously you don't want to take a picture with like a high ISO. But yeah, it takes a fresh minute to get through this. I mean, I'm not gunning it because I'm cycling one-handed, but I think the tunnel's longer than that bridge I was on. That bridge is really long. Someone said 1,400 feet. This is clearly like 3 miles. Wow, this is cool. I guess if the Gap has anything, it's a really cool tunnel. I don't know, I kind of considered the Gap to just be Pittsburgh to DC, but that's technically 2 different trails. When we get to Cumberland, we switch over to the C&O trail. Lord knows I can't remember what C&O stands for. I can barely remember what the Gap stands for, which is Great or Grand Allegheny Passage. I don't know, I've only passed like 200 signs to say. Light. Yeah, I couldn't have been a minor. It's a pretty nice road to ride downhill. I guess it'd be alright to ride up too. I'm just glad I'm not riding up it. We have another tunnel. Very cool corridor. Sorry, I've been really sleepy. The trail has been, it's nice, but man, there was a long stretch of it that was just very repetitive. Made it to Cumberland. It's like one of the few towns I'm visiting on this trip that I've been to before. I didn't really visit Cumberland. I was at the train station, that's about it. Alright. So, yeah, it's this is the first time on the trip that I've been to a hotel that didn't allow me to take my bike in the room. And go figure, it's on the Gap. I think it's kind of silly. I get it, they deal with a lot of cyclists, but every other hotel in this country so far was had no issue with it. So the trail isn't even like muddy or anything like that. I might understand it if it's like, if they had to have some type of like, please clean your tire off on outside before you drag it through the halls, sure, but nah, it's just silly. It's just silly. We're here in downtown Cumberland, Maryland, and we're just working our way over to the trail. Now, Cumberland's where the Gap switches over to the C&O, the Chesapeake and Ohio Trail. Finally learned the name. It's a lot of cyclists in this town, a lot of trail riders, really. It's kind of a cool little place. revitalized, you know, tourist trap for, because it's on the Amtrak route. It's kind of like a day ride from DC. We started putting together tentative plans for what happens when the trip finishes. This is the trail switchover point. Gotta find tourists. Very cool. I'm always glad when these types of spaces are able to be used by the community. I think it kind of helps bring awareness to their existence. Every time someone has to visit the C&O trail to go to like a conference, that's someone who might also end up, you know, being tempted to ride it one day. This bike is getting pretty creaky. I'm hoping it'll make it. Mile 184. So yeah, there's roughly 184 miles to go. Unfortunately, it does kind of suck that if you say DC, a lot of people understand that means you're going to the Atlantic Ocean, but it's not on the Atlantic Ocean. So it's like they need to make the trail just a little longer so you can actually get there. But yeah, look at this river. There's geese. Okay, geese are pretty mundane, but this river's cool. There's a passenger train rolling into Cumberland. I don't recognize some of the cars though. Must be some type of like legacy tourist service. I don't think it's the usual Amtrak. But Amtrak, when I took it, arrived here during the day, so it is possible we could just wait around for the Amtrak train to show up. Well, this is a good sign. Waved at the guy. No, active trail maintenance is good. Keeps those ticks off the trail. That's kind of novel. It takes like the reflective surface of water and turns it into like a matte color. It's very interesting. I always wondered why green is a common color for humans. Because to me it's like, green means you're in the woods. And being in the woods means you're in danger. You know? That's where predators are. So why this is supposed to be like a calming color, I don't know. I gotta keep my voice down and be quiet, but on these branches are turtles. Yeah, there's turtles that live in this little pond. You can see them jumping off because they're scared. Turtles are like probably the most skittish creature I've ever experienced. I don't understand that. They're more skittish than deer. And it's like, bro, you spec'd into armor. Like, why are you so fucking scared? Yeah, you can see them hop off of the logs though. And I mean, there's no real way for me to pass that isn't gonna scare them. But they've got like moss on them and that's so cool. This is interesting. It's a waterlock gate system. I can't imagine the boats that they were getting up this river. I mean, it's not very big, right? They raise this water level up and they can continue up the gateway. It's fascinating that it's out here. And you can see like, you know, these gates are made of wood and the stone construction is very basic. I wonder how old this thing is. I'm sure that sign over there has probably got all the information you need to find out, but meh. Still though, very cool. So this river we're following is now flowing in the same direction we're going instead of against us, which means that I don't have to spend all day climbing. This looks like something I might have to dismount for. Yeah, this is a pretty big one. All right, guys, listen. I'm going by. Don't get pissed off at me. Pardon me. Go left. It's okay. It's okay. God damn it. This is not going to end, is it? I wanted to talk about the canal. I don't know why you got to make this about yourself. Can't you fly? I feel bad because I'm like panicking this thing, but like... This dummy's been running down the path from me. He won't just get off the trail and let me pass. I feel bad for like panicking it, but you know, I kind of have to pass. I'm just hoping they don't like attack me. You know, beasts can be brutal. Now go to your friends and then calm down. Freaking bird brains. I think the one on the left's gonna be trouble. Alright, I'm gonna try to speed past it. God damn. Anyways, this canal, huh? Oh, this is cool. Hang on. How has nobody ever like... How did I not know this was going to be a thing? This tunnel is crazy. I can't ride down it because the surface is so eroded. Because there's so much condensation in here that the water causes potholes on whatever this surface is. And now it's kind of like rutted out. This is just bizarre. They dug a tunnel through the mountain for the canal. It seems counterintuitive, right? Like, the whole point of the canal is to take advantage of existing waterways. The notion that you would carve a tunnel for a canal is like so insane, I'm surprised I've never heard of it. And it's a long tunnel too. Probably just because I have to walk through it. Well, the good news is I don't seem to be deathly allergic to whatever stung me. It was just a very odd experience. I have no clue what happened. I have no clue why it stung me through my shirt. It wasn't inside my shirt because due to the hip bag, my shirt is bloused. The hip bag kind of holds it in place, so bugs shouldn't be able to get into the upper torso section. Or if they do, you know, I should be able to find them. So it wasn't something inside the shirt, something stung me through the shirt. My gosh, this tunnel is so fucking long. All right, I'm gonna have to either turn the camera off or stop holding the phone. I need the light, so sorry. Well, that was a fun tunnel experience. Now we get a fun dying from a landslide experience. There were folks on the GAP who told me the C&O was rough, but I don't know what they're talking about. This is awesome. Oh no, a little tiny bit of roughness. Now, this is a fun experience though. That's a big deer. I'm not sure what the noise on the other side of the river is, but it's a train! That droning sound is a boat, like a speedboat. I've got no clue what's going on here because the trail goes that way. The map indicates it goes that way. So I don't know if that sign is saying that's the rail trail or that's the rail trail, because they're both to the right of the thing pointing right. Kind of curious. Same thing, but okay. 13 miles to civilization. Hope I got enough water and hope they have food. For fuck's sake, guys. At least this one, it says it's because of emergency conditions. It's not just a trail closed, go fuck yourself sign. I've been kind of wondering for a while, like, okay, actually, I'm pretty sure I had premonitions of this. So I was riding down the towpath looking at the rail trail, like, it's kind of weird that there's a towpath and a rail trail running in parallel with each other. And yeah, it was. Holy shit, hang on. What do we have here? Water $1. I'm too damn thirsty for $1. No, I'm just kidding. Alright. From a distance, I thought it said, look, 50 cents. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. I need 2 free hands to get the $1 out. I'm not sure what the orange juice bottle is supposed to be. Maybe you... I don't know. Free money. No, I'm just kidding. Damn, though. It is kind of weird charging for water. A lot of places offer it for free. It could be like good advertising. Maryland seems to be something of a nanny state. You are here. Wow, okay, we're... Holy shit. This is 23 miles? Hell yeah. How the fuck is this like not something that I've heard about? Also, something tells me that Maryland has a helmet law. Sucks to be Maryland, I guess. This is some bizarre, like, divine intervention shit. Just when the day starts getting hard and I'm running out of water. Oh, hey, by the way, we've got a paved trail that's 23 miles long. I hope it's paved the entire way. If it's like this the entire way, we're making 70 miles easy. This is probably the first people I've seen in hours. So I saw it was just a bridge that's like kind of shitty. We gotta go back down. We gotta go back down. Wait, where are you going? We're going back down to the we gotta go back down to the towpath. Why are we not going back down to the towpath? It's almost like there's a fucking paved trail that goes to the same places. Just a wall of dirt. 3 more miles to Hancock. You know, I haven't eaten since breakfast. It was like 5 hours ago. Almost 6, really. No, I started recording after breakfast, so it was 6 hours ago. There's a part of me I need to ignore that's telling me to, like, do an all-nighter. It's a bad idea. It's a terrible idea. It's an awful idea. I shouldn't do it. I have every reason not to do it. But it's so tempting. I would be so wrecked tomorrow, though. No, there's no shot. You can't just throw this at me apropos of nothing. What's going on here? Why does it say help me? So I could have stopped in Hancock for cheap, but I decided to keep pressing on. This campsite's every few miles. There's one I'm aiming for in 34 miles. Because one's next to the interstate, one's next to the railroad, and the last one is actually like secluded. But it's at 34 miles. So, 94 miles for the day? Why not? Why not? Let's see what happens. I-70 continues to dog me. Yep, I'm still with it. Yeah, I'm starting to rethink my bike highway idea. Okay, it looks like it actually tries to warn you. Because, of course, this is only 23 miles. At some point, we got to get back on the towpath. So, aware of where exactly we can access it. Now, I am going to check the map to see if this is the last option before I actually go down there. Back on the C&O. 23 miles to that campsite, so let's see how things go. That sound you hear is the train. Yeah, we never stopped being near it. Apparently one of these campsites, it sounds like the fucking train goes right through the middle of it. Like that's how the people described it. It was cool though. Damn, pretty spooky. I will say for being out west, or shit. I will say for being out east, they got a pretty sweet setup here. You know, out west, there's not really a lack of space to go camping in on public lands, but out here, out east, you know, everything's parceled up in private property, and everybody's very defensive about their 25 acres of nothing, right? So it's good that they have this system on this trail of having these periodic campsites. And I mean, they've got luxuries, you know. There's a porta potty here, so you don't have to shit in a hole. There's a well. You can't drink it raw, but you know, you could boil it for food or for drinking water or what have you. I mean, these are pretty sweet setups, but I don't think this is where I'm going to stop. The one complaint I have is that I do wish there was like more places to sit down. I feel like the GAP and the C&O need to be working together, because the GAP's got way too many fucking benches and the C&O doesn't have enough. So I feel like there could be some redistribution here. I'm gonna take a short break, eat a snack, and then make the next 9 miles to the next campsite. Okay, this is pretty cool. My bag rubbing up against my tire, not so much. That's just been a persistent issue, and more I've been having to fix it multiple times a day. Because what happens is it just gradually sags down and starts rubbing into the tire. Damn, I'm not sure where to put you. Hi, how you doing down there? We feel small and insignificant. Yeah, I was intending with the cinematography to kind of like make you feel like you were the little Jack Black figure, and like I was picking you up and showing you around and all that. So that is kind of by design. But yeah, this is an awesome feature, and it makes total sense. Like, I was kind of wondering why the towing people were using the just straight up this is the Potomac River, by the way. This is the river that we're following all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. But I was wondering why they didn't just use the river more. Like, why build all of those flood control gates, dig out a canal and what have you. And I guess for parts of it they just do use the river. which is pretty cool. I mean, even if I do 30 miles in the last day, you know, that still gives me time to like check out DC. Warning, security cameras in use. Bro, come on. You gotta be fucking me here. But hey, they have a reason. Holy shit. This is the first, no joke, in this entire goddamn country, this is the first time I've encountered a closed road or pathway that actually gave a reason. In April of 2024, I don't know if it's a good reason. In April of 2024, contractors began work to stabilize the historic left abutment of Potomac Dam number 5. During this project, the towpath is closed. It's closed downstream of dam number 5, mile marker 106, to upstream of the number 5 parking lot, mile marker 106.8. So it's 0.8 of a mile. Construction is anticipated through fall of 2025. Weather dependent. Please use the marked detour, follow posted signage. Okay, I'm not happy with the whole being closed for over a year, but I am happy that there is at least a given reason, because so often they just don't give reasons and it's like a fucking mystery. Here you can see kind of the infrastructure they're working on, and some people have clearly been bypassing the restricted space. I know the contractors and the Park Service are probably steaming fucking mad every time they catch someone on the security camera, especially because the funny thing is, how do they catch you, right? I was thinking about this. I have a license plate, but that license plate isn't in any database that it actually belongs to me. Like, it's not my registered vehicle, right? Like, there's no way, like, they'd have to call the like state police. Hey, be on the lookout for so-and-so. They on the trail, they trespassed here, and then they'd give them like a description. I'm like, I feel like that if you're like a high testosterone cyclist guy, you just see that as a challenge. Okay, so I just got to make it to the end of the trail before the state police catch up to me. Share the road, cyclists. I've been seeing those signs out here. It's got a picture of a car and a bike on it. But I still think that's not going to solve the underlying problem of people thinking that that sign is oriented at cyclists, because they put the car behind the cyclist. So it just looks like a 2D representation of a cyclist in the way of a car. I guess I wouldn't be so lucky as to get a nice path back to the towpath in a timely fashion. But hey, at least it's a country road that isn't like 90 degrees of a fucking cliff. No, it's just got a weird guy in a fucking Toyota Ranger driving slowly down the road. Yeah, I'm not worth murdering. I don't know what this guy's up to. I wonder if it's like a reverse psychology, like he's doing to me what cyclists typically do to automobiles. Howdy. Downhill and I don't want to compete. I wonder if he's having engine trouble. It is funny. Bucket, that is a vintage bumper sticker. I don't know if the camera picked it up. He had a Bush Cheney bumper sticker. Vintage. Oh, look. Nice little option for in case of floods. Hang on. Yeah, I don't see a warning on this side of why the towpath is closed. So partial credit, unless it's down here somewhere. Man, they had one fucking job, and that was put the explanation at both sides so people from both ways know why it's closed. Now it's just the eastbounders that know. Before the gap, I was at like 80%. 80% of the time I ignored them, and now I'm probably down to like 50%. I'm gonna seem less and less like a cool rebel and more like a rules Nancy. love these vines growing up these trees. They look cool. Make the tree look cooler. These trees should learn proper drip. Maybe they wouldn't get cut down then. Actually, what they should do is suck iron out of the ground and infuse their bark with charcoal and steel, right? Like if there's a forest fire, and then it like smelts steel. Howdy.
Happy trails.
You too. I don't know, I'm doing my best here, okay? My behavior is better when I'm like fed water, and properly fucking sexed. My blood isn't pumping with high testosterone. We've made it to Williamson. I don't know why I'm seeing some kind of gate on the path. Oh, it's just diverting people. Okay. I really hope the pedestrian bridge that's not like I have to climb up to it though. Because I am trying to go to this town, but the last thing I want to do is climb a really big pedestrian bridge after 90 miles. Okay. Oh, wow, this is like a real aqueduct. Holy crap. Hang on, let's get a picture. This is really interesting. Like, it's just a bizarre piece of infrastructure. It's like I live in a world where they've kind of built like kayak highways, which is a fascinating idea. I wonder if anybody's ever made a kayak highway. Okay, allegedly there's bike access this way, so I don't have to actually push my bike up that stairway. I guess I just have that there in case this other bridge goes out. Oh, god damn it. I still gotta push. I'm too tired. Wait, there are like cars across this? That's crazy. Well, I guess that explains it. It's a bridge from 1879. I assume the part I'm walking on, based on its design, is much more recent, considering it's a scaled down and slightly different color version of every other pedestrian bridge in this country. All right, and 87 miles. This place is pretty sweet, considering the price tag wasn't too bad. Interesting that there's a hotel on the C&O that's actually kind of not trying to fuck me over. You know, I could camp for free anywhere on the C&O, so I guess maybe that's why the prices are down. If there's no like market for $50 campsites, then I guess hotel prices can't be, you know, over 100 for the trail-oriented places. So yeah, maybe subsidize free camping along your trails. Make these things cheaper, you know. Once again, rail trail has been taken rather literally. What happened, bud? I'm gonna fan cannon this Heartbroken Girlfriend. This stretch of trail after Williamsport is really, really rough. It's like practically a dirt trail. They need to go over it with a roller or something. However they smooth this stuff out. Good little stretch of trail. It's unfortunate that the second half of the C&O seems to be rougher than the first. It's weird because we're getting closer to civilization, not farther. Like, there was like 60 miles in the middle of nowhere of perfect trail. I don't get that. So there's a stone wall holding this little ridge up that we're riding on. How long does this go on for? I think this goes on for a while. Noting some inspiration for modded Minecraft. Okay, now it's paved. This trail keeps throwing weird new things at me. I assume they must have had to remake this part. There's no way that stone wall stayed structurally sound as long as it's existed. This stretch occasionally just has like deep pits of sand, so that's fine. But I keep pushing. We're getting close to Harper's Ferry. Now, I'd been to Harper's Ferry before on the road trip, and the thing I remember about the Potomac River edit was that it was like this. And this started about half a mile back, just randomly. So my whole impression that like the river was raging through the mountains, I guess wasn't based on anything real. See, there's a little stretch of rideable terrain across very loose gravel. It's very unusual that like that's happening right outside Harper's Ferry. I mean, I guess it's not a ton of people use the trail, but it just is odd where the sections of disrepair are. So Harper's Ferry is the confluence of Shenandoah and Potomac rivers to this bigger river, and it's also the meeting point, crossover point of the C&O, the Appalachian Trail. So that's one more milestone down. I thought I was going to stop in Harper's Ferry, but it didn't seem like there was an easy way for cyclists to actually cross the river. Like the only bridge seemed to be, it was just a staircase. Like they didn't even have the ramp for pushing your bike up. So I guess we're just gonna ride to the next town. Once again, CSX is annoyingly in the way. So I stopped here in Brunswick to get some food. Initially I was kind of cagey about stopping anywhere, but eventually I decided to go to the Italian place in this town, and it's pretty good. Really nice pizza. So yeah, while I was there I kind of cemented what the travel plans are post DC, which means that we're pretty much locked into stopping when we get to DC. But you know, that's actually pretty cool. So in theory you could, that's probably why all the people were like, oh, you're riding to DC. It's because people probably take their bike on the train and ride it out to Harper's Ferry and then go back to DC. That'd be a fun kind of overnight deal. I'm very jealous. Typically I have to loop if I want to do any kind of overnight, because there's no like public transit like that in my area. This is the type of dusting you get when you make people wait at the train station. There's the MARC. I was like, that sure is quiet for a freight train. Yeah, that's cool. Passenger rail service. I mean, it is connected to the nation's capital. I hope that if there was anywhere in America that passenger rail existed, it would be the fucking United States capital. God forbid. I gotta say, the highlight of the C&O, given there aren't too many towns to stop in, has got to be these little campsites. I just love these spots. I've been down several river trails that made the actual river something that you saw and not something that you could really interact with. I mean, the Missouri River, the Ohio River, the Little Miami, even the stuff up on the Gap. I mean, all of those rivers just felt like they didn't want you engaging with it. Whereas here, they seem to have acknowledged that the Potomac River is the reason people are out here. And so all of these sites have some level of river access. What am I going to do with that? I'm not sure there's much I really want to do with that, but on a day like today when I'm pushing, I don't know if I want to deal with like the whole getting my feet dry again business. I don't know, it could be a good idea though. I'm gonna stretch out, have a snack, and drink some water. Welcome to Montgomery County. Yeah, I've heard that shit before. Oh, cool. I wonder if this place sells anything to drink. I mean, they sell alcohol, but I'm hoping for like Gatorade or something. Kind of the inverse of alcohol, really. I guarantee it'll be overpriced, but frankly, tempted to pay it anyways. Their drink machine didn't work, and even if it did work, they wanted $4 for a 12-ounce Gatorade. And no wonder these fucking coastal urbanites think the country sucks. I'm hearing jet planes overhead, which is telling me that obviously we're getting within 40 miles of DC. Well, I'm still doing my best. I'm kind of locked into this trajectory too, because in addition to a lack of places to buy refreshments, there's a lack of places to stop. They're all on the other side of the river, but then there's no way to cross the river. So it's like a 30-mile straight shot. Like, you pretty much have to stay in the city. There's no, like, I don't know, gradual ramp up. I think the last place to stop was where I had that pizza. I don't know what this surface is, but it fucking sucks. And the last thing I want to do after 90 goddamn miles is swim through sand, or whatever this shit is. Run, my children. No, what is this? You gotta be kidding me. I better be able to at least go through it. It is absolutely ridiculous that we are this fucking close to the end. And the shit closed. Surely they're just gonna let me go around. Closed 1,000 feet ahead. Oh, hold on. I gotta have faith here. They actually built a detour? Oh? Okay. I was about to shit. I'm guessing it's closed because that bridge is out. Alright, there's a paved trail. It's a bit bumpy, but you can go faster on pavement, which is a welcome addition. I do not mind at all. I will mind if it doesn't go all the way though, because it's kind of stupid to just have this random paved stretch next to the towpath. Crazy how much of the city I've been able to get through without it feeling like an actual city. The only clue is all the people and the jet airplanes flying overhead. And yeah, we're almost there. We passed 100 miles. So today is officially a century. I believe it is I want to say it's the 5th one I've done. So because I went off the towpath, I ended up in a weird place. I'm not exactly sure. I think I can just go under this and end up in the right place, but Yeah, go figure. Something weird's happening at the end, as always. Go figure. It's mile 0 of this trail. Feels like it's in someone's backyard. But no. We made it. It's over. It's done. And I don't think there's anywhere to dip our tires in here, so I'll have to look for that elsewhere. Maybe we're going to Point Lookout, so maybe I'll do it there ceremonially, but yeah, this is it. This is the end. I'm not one of those people that there's some people that will ride on to, say, Annapolis, which is about 35 miles east of here, and I think it's just on the Chesapeake. If that's what you want me to do, that's what you need to do. Me personally, this whole trip has been about recreating the Brotherhood's trek from California to DC. So I'm content. I am content. So now the question, where the fuck do I stay? So we're not done, but we are done. Trip is over. We completed it. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say except I guess you were there with me some of the time. I'll take a picture. And that can go to all the people I know who care. Yeah. End of an adventure. I think it ended fittingly well. Having to do 100 miles, showing up basically almost after dark. Yeah. I mean, it really has to be noted. Mile 0 is like legitimately behind this boat rental company. So it felt like I kind of didn't even belong here. I guess they get to have everybody on camera. Man, I forgot when you go through DC, like every street is somewhere noticeable. Oh, by the way, we're at the Watergate Hotel, by the way, just casual. But clearly I'm pointing at the giant obelisk. And I'm just doing my best not to die. Last stretch. So it turns out a lot of the hotels here aren't fans of bicycles. So I've got to go to Arlington, which is where I stayed last time. But first, that means finding the metro station. All right, last day, 108 miles, counting the metro ride over here. But I count it because it was not easy. But it wasn't too hard. It was just more annoying because you gotta get the bike through the metro. But yeah. Crazy to think. We're done. No, we're not done. We still got to do the DC stuff, and I still got to get home. But then we'll be done. We're done riding. We're done riding.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Maryland.
Yeah, because the one thing I want to do when I go to a Maryland park is make a reservation in a place that doesn't have service.
Yeah, what the fuck? And it's not like they're getting like serious traffic here or anything.
Just take our cash, Jesus.
Yeah.
You will own nothing and you'll be happy. Well,
The good news is we can pull over here at the Confederate Memorial, and I want to shoot some footage of these flags.
So while we put the reservation in with the Point Lookout Park, I thought I'd go ahead and take a look at this. Nice little preview of what's going on at Point Lookout. But yeah, you know, it's just, I'm really feeling the proper spirit of freedom and liberty as I stand amongst the Confederate War Memorial. As we put an online reservation to go to a national park. Not a national park, sorry, a state park. If it was a national park, we'd actually be in there already, because I have a pass for those. Dedicated to the memory of Confederate prisoners of war, military and civilian men, women, and children who were incarcerated in Point Lookout prison camp. Where is it? Yep, there it is. I forget what the name of the flag is, but it's a POW MIA flag, which is, I think, a pretty modern concept, like Vietnam era, mixed with the Confederate flag, which is pretty suspect, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know Point Lookout was known. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, I didn't think that I was good. When I woke up today, I didn't think I would see so many Confederate flags. And it's funny because the park people are like really young, and like, just get on the app and make the reservation, bro. Is it rude of me to ask where the rest of it is? I remember the big cliffs with the mirelurks.
Yeah.
And
They invented that shit.
or it's like some different, like, is it the whole peninsula? That's the Point Lookout DLC, is like
Probably.
like 20 real life square miles.
Yeah. See, because if you take a space that big and then you compress it down,
Yeah.
naturally you're going to build some elevation.
It doesn't count.
It's not really
It's not really the Atlantic Ocean. It's just the Chesapeake Bay.
Listen, you can take an extra day.
It smells salty.
Take an extra day.
Yeah.
We'll go to Long Island. I'll take you to some real Atlantic
Here.
Ocean, right?
I gotta get that. I bought the this is the old tread.
Some nice microplastics. Thank you for your contribution.
Well, the Minecraft movie's not topical anymore. Oh, shit, now I gotta get them in my hands. Here.
Yeah, I can hold it.
All right. Well, that's everything I wanted to do. Been, what, 4 months in the making?
We're used to this sort of thing.
Yeah.
For like 6, 8, 10
Yeah, keeping a joke to yourself so long that it expires. Like the orb joke in the Skyrim video, yeah. Alright.
And that's it. Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. in 69 days. A 3,773 mile journey. I rounded it up to 4,000 and threw in that $510 of generous donations I received on the road. I appreciate anybody who has donated to this venture. It's hard to fathom because a more direct car route is 1,000 fewer miles. I really paid the price to visit Zion, didn't I? I cannot answer if it was worth it yet. By it, I mean the trip. It's been months and I still haven't decided. This won't be the last video on this topic, so I still have time to figure out my thoughts on what all happened. I really do appreciate everyone who has made it here. The videos haven't done amazing, but that's just kind of typical for bikepacking content. It's either really low views or 1 million plus, no in-betweens. I'm going to put together a supercut, so I'd really benefit from giving that a share when it comes out. Really put the word out on how absurd it is that a capital G gamer like myself did a 3,700 mile bike trip for charity and a punchline in a video about Fallout, because it's not just me that benefits if you do.